Nathan turned the key in the lock of his downtown Manhattan apartment, expecting the familiar quiet after his red-eye flight from Chicago. But the sounds drifting from the living room made his stomach drop, low moans and whispers that didn't belong to just one person. And as he pushed the door open, he saw Andrew on the couch with two other men, their bodies intertwined in a way that left no doubt. And Nathan gasped, the air catching in his throat as his world shattered in that single moment. He stood frozen, the grocery bag from the airport slipping from his fingers, oranges rolling across the hardwood floor. Andrew. His voice came out hoarse, barely above a whisper. Andrew's head snapped up, eyes wide with shock and something like guilt. The two strangers scrambled for clothes, mumbling apologies as they rushed past Nathan toward the door. Andrew, pulling on his shirt, stepped forward with hands raised. Nathan, it's not what it looks like. Let me explain. Not what it looks like. Nathan's laugh was bitter, his chest tight with the kind of pain that made breathing hard. He backed away, bumping into the wall. 3 years. 3 years of building a life together in this city that never slept, of late-night talks about the future, of supporting each other through tough times at work. Andrew was the one who made him feel safe in a world that still whispered judgments about men like them. And now this. Please, just listen, Andrew pleaded, his voice cracking. It was a mistake. I was lonely. You were always away for work. Nathan shook his head, tears stinging his eyes. Get out. All of you. Just get out. He turned, grabbing his keys again, and left the apartment before Andrew could say another word. The elevator ride down was a blur, the city streets outside a chaotic symphony of horns and sirens that matched the storm in his head. He walked for blocks, the cold November air biting at his face, until he found himself at Liam's door in Brooklyn. Liam, his best friend since college, opened the door in pajamas, eyes widening at the sight of Nathan's tear-streaked face. Dude, what happened? You look like hell. Nathan collapsed onto the couch, the words tumbling out in a rush. I came home early. Andrew, he was with two guys. In our living room. I saw it all. The admission brought fresh tears. Liam sat beside him, handing a tissue without judgment. I'm so sorry, man. That's messed up. You don't deserve that. As the night wore on, they talked about how Nathan had always struggled with his identity, even after coming out to his family 5 years ago. His parents in Ohio still hoped he'd change his mind, sending subtle hints in every call. Andrew had been his anchor. Now, that anchor was gone. Nathan wondered if he could ever trust again, if love for men like him was always destined to be this complicated in a society that pretended to accept but still judged behind closed doors. By morning, Andrew had called 10 times, leaving voicemails begging for forgiveness. Nathan deleted them all, but the pain lingered, a heavy weight on his chest. He knew this was just the beginning. His job as an architect at a prestigious firm demanded focus, yet every blueprint now reminded him of the home they had designed together. Liam offered the spare room, no questions asked, and Nathan accepted, packing a suitcase from the apartment while Andrew was at work. The silence in those familiar walls felt louder than any argument. Days blurred into a routine of avoidance. Nathan threw himself into deadlines, sketching late into the night at the office, but the betrayal replayed in his mind like a bad film reel. He remembered the day they met at a little cafe in Soho, Andrew's easy smile over a shared latte, the way their hands brushed and neither pulled away. That spark had felt like coming home. Now it was ashes. At lunch with Liam, Nathan finally voiced the fear he'd buried. What if this is me? What if I'm the reason he looked elsewhere? My family already thinks I'm living some phase. Maybe they're right. Liam shook his head firmly. No. This is on Andrew, not you. You've built a life here. Don't let one mistake erase that. The words helped, but doubt lingered. Nathan's phone buzzed again. Andrew. He silenced it. The decision to stay away felt right for now, yet the ache of losing the man he loved twisted deeper with every passing hour. Little did he know the real tests were only beginning, waiting in the form of a surprise family visit and the truths he could no longer hide from himself. The weeks after the discovery stretched like a tightrope. Nathan walked every day. He stayed at Liam's Brooklyn walk-up, the spare room cluttered with his half-unpacked suitcase and stacks of work files. Mornings started with strong coffee and Liam's quiet support, but the evenings dragged with unanswered texts from Andrew and the constant replay of that awful scene. Nathan tried to focus on the latest project at the firm, a sleek high-rise in Hudson Yards, but his sketches kept coming out jagged, reflecting the fracture inside him. One evening, Liam dragged him out for a walk along the East River. The city lights shimmered on the water, a reminder of everything Nathan once loved about New York. "You have to talk to him eventually," Liam said gently, hands in his pockets. "Not for him, but for you. Closure matters." Nathan nodded, but the thought of facing Andrew made his stomach churn. Instead, he dove into memories. He recalled their first anniversary, Andrew surprising him with tickets to a Broadway show, the two of them laughing in the cheap seats like kids. Those moments felt so real then, so permanent. Now they tasted like lies. Back at the apartment, Nathan's phone lit up with a call from his mother. "Sweetheart, your father and I are coming to the city next weekend. We want to see your place and meet that roommate you keep mentioning." His heart sank. Roommate. That was the lie he'd told them about Andrew for 3 years, too afraid of their disappointment. "Mom, it's not a great time," but she cut him off with her usual cheer. "Nonsense. We already booked the flights. We miss you." The call ended, leaving Nathan staring at the wall. How could he hide the truth now? At work the next day, his boss pulled him aside. "Nathan, the promotion is yours if you keep this up. But clients notice when personal stuff bleeds in. Everything okay at home?" The question hit like a warning. Nathan forced a smile. "Just fine, sir." Inside, the pressure mounted. Gay men in corporate America still walked a fine line, and any hint of drama could cost him the career he'd fought for since graduating. That night, Andrew showed up at Liam's building unannounced, flowers in hand, eyes pleading through the intercom. "Please, 5 minutes." Nathan buzzed him up against his better judgment. In the hallway, Andrew's words spilled out. "I was scared. You were climbing so fast at work, and I felt left behind. Those guys, it was nothing. I love you." Nathan listened, arms crossed, the betrayal still raw. "Love doesn't look like what I walked in on." Andrew left defeated, but the encounter left Nathan questioning everything again. Liam listened without judgment as Nathan paced the living room. "Maybe my family's right. Maybe this life is too hard." Liam placed a hand on his shoulder. "Or maybe it's the only life worth fighting for." The conversation stretched late, peeling back layers of Nathan's fears about acceptance, about being enough. By the time he fell asleep, a small spark of resolve flickered. He wouldn't run forever. The family visit loomed like a storm, and Nathan knew he had to decide what truth he was ready to tell. The weekend arrived faster than Nathan wanted. His parents landed at JFK, their excitement buzzing through texts about seeing the big city and his nice apartment. Nathan met them at a neutral cafe in Midtown, hugging them tightly while his mind raced for ways to keep Andrew out of the conversation. His mother beamed, handing him a homemade pie. "We're so proud of you, honey. Working at that fancy firm." His father nodded, but the familiar undercurrent lingered, the unspoken hope that Nathan would one day bring home a nice girl and settle down like his brother. They insisted on seeing his place. Nathan lied smoothly about a leak at his building and suggested a hotel instead, but guilt gnawed at him. Over dinner, the questions came. "Any special someone?" his mother asked, eyes hopeful. Nathan swallowed hard, the image of Andrew flashing in his mind. "Not right now." The half-truth burned. Later, alone in his hotel room after dropping them off, he stared at his reflection. The man looking back felt like a stranger, caught between the life he'd built and the one his family imagined. Andrew texted again, asking to meet. They agreed on a quiet coffee shop near Union Square. The air between them crackled with tension as Nathan sat across from the man he once planned a future with. "I need to know why," Nathan said quietly. Andrew's shoulders slumped. "I felt invisible. Your success made me question if I was enough for you. It was stupid, selfish." "I'm sorry." The explanation didn't erase the pain, but it cracked open a door to understanding. Still, Nathan couldn't forgive yet. "I need space. Real space." Back at Liam's, another misunderstanding surfaced. Liam admitted he had suspected Andrew was unhappy, but never said anything. "I didn't want to meddle," Liam explained. Nathan felt betrayed all over again. "You knew something was off?" The argument was brief but sharp, leaving Nathan questioning his closest friendship too. That night, he wandered into a gay bar in the village alone, seeking anonymity. Old acquaintances greeted him, but their knowing glances about the breakup stung. "Heard about you and Andrew," one said. "Tough break in this scene." The words echoed societal whispers that gay relationships were fleeting, doomed. The turning point came unexpectedly. During a family brunch the next day, his father mentioned an old college friend's son who had straightened out after some wild years. The implication hung heavy. Nathan's chest tightened until he couldn't hold it. "Dad, I'm gay. I've always been gay. Andrew wasn't a roommate. He was my partner." The table fell silent. His mother's eyes welled up, his father's face hardened. "We love you," his mother whispered. "But this life, it's not what we wanted for you." The words cut deep, yet saying them aloud felt like the first step toward something new. Nathan left the brunch early, heart pounding, knowing the confrontation had changed everything. He was no longer hiding, and the consequences were just beginning. The days following the family brunch blurred into a haze of silent phone calls and long walks through Central Park. Nathan's parents returned to Ohio with polite but strained goodbyes, promising to pray on it. Their reaction hurt more than he expected, reopening old wounds about belonging. At the firm, the promotion talk cooled after he missed a deadline, distracted by the emotional fallout. His boss's subtle reminder about stability felt like another layer of societal pressure pressing down on his shoulders. Liam reached out first, apologizing for the earlier misunderstanding. "I should have spoken up. You're my brother." Their reconciliation came over beers on the rooftop, the city skyline a backdrop to honest talk about loyalty and growth. "You're stronger than this," Liam said. Nathan nodded, feeling the first real shift inside, a decision forming. He would no longer let others define his worth. Andrew showed up at the office lobby one afternoon, looking worn. "I heard about your parents. Can we talk?" They walked to a nearby bench. Andrew confessed deeper truths, his own struggles with self-worth, how Nathan's rising career highlighted his stagnation. "I thought a stupid fling would make me feel in control again." The honesty stung less now, replaced by pity and clarity. Nathan realized the betrayal wasn't just about him. It was Andrew's cry for help. Still, forgiveness wasn't instant. "I need time to figure out who I am without you." That evening, alone in Liam's spare room, Nathan made the big decision that would alter his path. He drafted a resignation letter. The job that once defined him now felt like chains. He wanted space to breathe, to explore the man he was becoming. The next morning, he handed it in, surprising everyone. His boss wished him well, but the move left a hole. Financial worries loomed, yet the freedom tasted sweet. News of the breakup spread through their circle. An old friend from college sided with Andrew, texting Nathan accusations of being too focused on work. The rift hurt, showing how fragile some bonds were under pressure. Nathan confronted the friend over the phone, defending his choices. "I sacrificed enough. Now it's my turn." The conversation ended coldly, another loss, but one that clarified who truly stood by him. Liam helped pack the last boxes from the old apartment. As they loaded the truck, Andrew watched from the sidewalk, eyes sad. "I hope you find what you need." Nathan paused, offering a small nod. "Me too." Driving away, the Manhattan skyline faded in the rear view, symbolizing the end of one chapter. The turning point wasn't dramatic, no shouting match or grand gesture, but the quiet choice to prioritize himself. With savings and Liam's couch as a safety net, Nathan booked a one-way ticket to California for a fresh start. The West Coast called with promises of new beginnings, and for the first time in months, the weight on his chest felt lighter. California welcomed Nathan with open arms and endless sunshine. He settled in a small studio in San Diego, the ocean breeze a daily reminder that change was possible. Freelance architecture gigs kept him busy, designing coastal homes that felt lighter than the skyscrapers of New York. Yet the past followed in quiet moments. Late-night texts from his mother checking in, Andrew's occasional voicemail asking if he was okay. Each one tested his resolve, but Nathan chose forward motion. The climax arrived unexpectedly during a video call with his family. His father's voice was gruff. "Son, we've been thinking. We don't understand it all, but we miss you." Tears welled as Nathan opened up fully about the betrayal, the pain, and the growth. "I had to lose everything to find myself." His mother reached for the screen. "We're trying, honey." come home for the holidays. The acceptance, though imperfect, cracked open a door he thought sealed forever. Liam flew out for a visit, their friendship stronger than ever. Over beach walks, they laughed about old times and the rifts that had tested them. You sacrificed the job, the apartment, everything. That takes guts. Nathan nodded, the weight of those choices now a badge of honor. But the real emotional peak came when Andrew flew across the country unannounced, standing on the beach with a letter in hand. I read it every day. I was wrong, and I'm getting help now. The confrontation was raw. Tears, raised voices, then silence as truths poured out. Andrew admitted the threesome stemmed from his fear of commitment, a secret he'd hidden even from himself. Nathan listened, heart aching, then spoke his truth. I forgive you, but I can't go back. We both deserve better. The sacrifice had been worth it. Quitting his job opened doors to passion projects, like mentoring young designers at a local LGBTQ center. There, he met Ryan, a quiet graphic artist with kind eyes and a shared love for city skylines. Their connection started slow, coffee talks turning into sunset walks. No rush, just genuine understanding. Ryan's presence reminded Nathan that love could heal without erasing the past. One evening, under the pier lights, Ryan took his hand. You've come so far. I'm proud of you. The moment felt like the happy ending he'd earned. Friends back east reached out with mixed reactions. Some celebrated his courage, others faded, revealing the fragile nature of acceptance in their circle. Nathan faced each conversation with honesty, growing stronger. The journey had tested every relationship, family, friendship, romance, but each fracture taught him boundaries and self-worth. As the waves crashed nearby, Nathan realized the man gasping in that apartment doorway was gone. In his place stood someone whole, ready for whatever came next. Months passed in San Diego like chapters in a new book Nathan was writing himself. Freelance work flourished, his designs featured in local magazines, and the LGBTQ Center asked him to lead workshops on building authentic lives. Ryan became a steady presence, shared dinners, quiet evenings sketching together, laughter that felt effortless. Their romance bloomed naturally, free of the shadows that once haunted Nathan. One weekend, they drove up the coast to Big Sur, the cliffs and ocean a perfect backdrop for honest talks about the future. I never thought I'd trust again, Nathan admitted under the stars. Ryan smiled softly. You don't have to rush. We're building something real. Back in New York, Liam kept him updated. Andrew had started therapy and found a new apartment, sending Nathan a final message of genuine well wishes. I'm happy for you. The words closed the chapter without bitterness. Family visits became easier too. His parents flew out for a week, meeting Ryan over dinner. Awkward at first, the conversation turned warm as his mother hugged both men. We see how happy you are. His father clapped Nathan on the back. Proud of the man you've become. Partial acceptance was enough. It was progress born from the pain. The rifts with old friends healed selectively. Nathan reconnected with a few who showed up authentically, while others drifted, a natural sorting that came with growth. At the center, he mentored a young man struggling with his own identity, sharing pieces of his journey without preaching. The hardest part is facing yourself. But on the other side is freedom. The words resonated because they were earned through every decision, every consequence. One evening on the balcony overlooking the Pacific, Ryan turned to him. Remember when you first told me about that day in the apartment? Nathan nodded, the memory distant now. It led me here. To us. They sat in comfortable silence, hands intertwined, the glowing city lights mirroring the hope in Nathan's heart. The journey, from shock and betrayal to understanding and love, had reshaped him completely. He no longer questioned his place in the world. He claimed it. True love, Nathan realized, wasn't about perfection or endless sacrifice. It was about choosing yourself first, then sharing that strength with someone worthy. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in warm tones, he felt at peace. The boy who gasped in disbelief had become the man who breathed freely. Is it true that the deepest betrayals are necessary for the truest self-acceptance? True or false?